It's pretty dope.
I wish they had an iPad app.
They don't?
Not for the camera control.
Oh, well, duh, because it's got its own camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine they would have a GoPro app, but.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
If it was a Google device, probably would do it.
Yep.
No. Can I have a little bit more me up?
In your headphone?
Yeah, overall too. Check. It's a little intense.
You didn't tell me
It's
to
good.
stop.
It's good.
We're in a garage, not intense.
It works. Can you turn everyone's volume the same? Look good?
Yeah, we're all the same.
Yeah.
You need up in your headphones?
Yeah.
You need up in your headphones?
No. I'm good.
Clear your throat.
Everybody's good?
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Roll it.
You have way too much.
What were you saying?
Nothing important. Welcome to the Midnight Snack Podcast. My name is Brandon.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Adam.
Hesitation there. Brain lag.
Yep. So how's it going?
My wife just texted me. That's what I was taking care of.
Oh, gotcha.
And we have police outside right now.
Sirens going outside.
That coming for you.
Yeah.
Didn't pay your bill or something.
Paid the bill for the police.
Didn't pay your ticket.
That
Pay
could be a thing.
your water bill so the police comes and
Yeah.
takes you away.
So
I'm growing the beard out. What do you think?
it's good there.
You start managing it now.
No. I'm going to let it go completely unmanaged. See what happens.
Your,
Right now,
your wife has to deal with it. Not
my
me.
neck and my chest are connecting. So,
Just starts like
Yeah.
growing out down here.
yeah. I just grow my winter coat.
Just get a beard comb and beard oil it up.
I mean, no shave November's coming, so
I prepped
Start now.
for the 3 months prior to.
I dare you to do that.
I'll do it.
Don't shave until the end of the year.
Okay. Done.
dang.
See what it looks like at the end of 2020.
Yep. 2020 beard.
Just waiting to go home, get online.
This is COVID. This is the very beginning of COVID when I shaved it last. So
It's pretty slow growing.
yeah.
So it'll be,
Well, once it reaches a certain point, it's
Yeah.
super slow growing.
You do the same.
no,
Why?
it looks terrible when I try to grow it out.
Just grow out what you have, though.
Yeah,
Just manage it and then grow it out.
if I filled it in here,
Do it.
I might. I've been thinking about doing that actually.
I mean, I can't, but
Just
So
let your hair grow
no.
until December.
Been there and done that.
Let my hair
It's
grow.
not good.
Just, be all the way around here.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something.
Great story.
No, don't. I don't know.
I had that last week. Now it's you.
bro. So how's your week?
Mine?
Yeah.
Good.
No, the other guy behind you.
It's good. Played some.
Is it good for him?
Pretty good. Yeah, he told me. It was
Yeah.
pretty
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Good. Yeah, I asked him earlier too. It was good.
What'd you get into?
Worked good amount. I'm enjoying the job so far.
Yeah. Did you start your new job last week or?
Yeah, last week.
Okay. I couldn't
It's
remember.
my first week out of training on my own, and I'm slaying it. Applied for another position.
On top of this position?
Yeah, this position's a stepping stone into a management position.
Ah, okay.
So we'll see.
Nice.
Then played some scum,
Oh yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Just a wee bit.
I stayed up until 4 a.m. one night just by myself, just building.
And he didn't make any of the pipe bombs.
No.
I can't make the pipe bombs.
I know. I'm kidding.
You made one.
Hey, I can't make fun of you because I can't make them either.
I had some kind of stupid cooldown for what are the primitive mine things we were trying to make it for?
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
I
Give
those.
it to him, and he's like 5 in a row. Screw you. Whatever. I'm the archer. Apparently, I'm just not arching.
You just don't urge.
Yeah. I am not the driver.
Yeah.
That.
You're also not the one that repairs vehicles. You're also not the one that
Yeah. So the character I made is like
It's dumb.
weak sauce.
it's
weak
he's
sauce.
he's
What is
good.
his,
He's
what is
good
his
on
skills in?
Well, I'm pretty sure one was lockpicking, even though I myself haven't actually done a whole lot.
You made his winker like really long, didn't you?
No. And so So, but the thing is, I thought I made my driving up high enough, and I definitely didn't. And so every time my guy goes to start his vehicle, it like stalls
every 10 feet.
And he somehow, which granted, I'm not the only one in our group that has this problem, but he somehow stalls the car going down a hill while already at speed. So that's a thing about the game that's hasn't been quite.
I think it's really just a you problem.
That, or my dude is literally just so good at driving, he knows how to stall a vehicle going downhill while coasting.
You need to get a Scum sponsorship.
I mean,
It'd be kind of funny, wouldn't it?
Is there a thing?
I don't know.
Should be sponsored by the devs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Reach out to them and be like,
We talk about it every week.
Yeah.
It's like the third episode, fourth episode in a row we've been talking about it.
It's like the only game we're playing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of Rocket League here and there, but
Nice.
I landed a Ryzen 9 3900X this week. I get it sent out tomorrow.
Nice.
Pretty
Now,
pumped about that.
like heavily used, I would imagine. No.
Nope.
Oh wow.
Found 2 of them online and was like, I really want to get. I think that's going to be my CPU for the next couple of years. The one I got was good.
Yeah.
The 2700X, but I wanted to.
So the guy was selling 2?
One, I found 2 different people selling them.
Oh, I see.
The first guy had them.
I was gonna say, you should have let me know. I would have sent him the other.
He had like
money.
4 or 5 of them in a box. And I'm like, would you take 300 for it? And he's like, nah. That's all he said to me was N-A-H-H-H-H-H, like in a row. And Messenger was like, thumbs up, left. Went to the next guy. What would you take for this one? And I think he said 300 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. Like, okay, well, you're normal. Thanks for being normal.
Yeah.
So
Nice. See, I ended up, I worked quite a few shows this week, and then I got to do quite a few drone sessions this week. Ended up doing like 3 or 4 for our church, and then let's see. I think that was about it.
how was it taking out your new drone?
It was awesome. Yeah, that was the other one. I ended up getting to go for, so I work with some guys that do storm chasing, and I ended up, we didn't go actually storm chasing, but being it was weather related, we went out and took some fall, like foliage, like video and pictures and stuff. And so I ended up taking the Inspire out, and the thing is fantastic. It is, I mean, the thing is just so freaking smooth.
Is it loud?
I mean, much louder than the Mavic,
'cause you've
but
got
like
much wider
just
props
sitting
and
there,
everything.
it's just sitting there. It's honestly not that bad. But whenever you go to start making like moves and stuff, and the motors, spin to change direction, it tends to makes a decent amount of noise. But I mean, you definitely know it's up in the air whenever it is.
And this one's the one that has interchangeable lenses too, right?
It does, yes.
That's sick. We're gonna shoot a new movie. We'll make a movie as a group.
But
Scum short.
I did find something disappointing in it, and I guess I just didn't do enough research when I bought it. But when I got it used, and it came with a thing called I think they call it a Cine SSD, and so it's designed to capture like clear up to, I believe, like 6K footage.
Nice.
And so it comes utilizing Apple ProRes and then Cinema DNG. And the annoying thing about it is that in order to use those functions on it, granted the thing itself is $300.
Just for the drive.
Yeah, just for the drive. And then to use those functions on it, you have to have a license. And to get the license for both of them costs freaking $1,300. And so I'm like,
just to like off your drive.
I mean, yeah.
I wanted to use that term today. At some point.
Off it.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Another Scum term.
And so
Not really.
So the thing about it is you can still use the drone with like a micro SD card, but
Can't shoot in 6K.
yeah, you're basically limited to 4K, which it's still fantastic 4K.
Yeah.
So
because
you can't sell your Mavic?
no. Because my Mavic allows for me to go to places and set up much, much quicker than I could with the Inspire. And if the shot doesn't require anything super detailed and stuff like that, then the Mavic does just fine. But the Inspire is it can be flown by 2 people. It can go much faster than my Mavic, and it's just all around a nicer quality looking image than my Mavic. But yeah, so.
Sounds cool though.
Yeah, that's what I did this week, and then also played a decent amount of Scum. But,
yeah.
So yeah,
What'd you do? Fun.
Worked and played Scum.
Yeah.
I'm seriously gonna reach out to the devs now and be like, "Yo, we literally talk about Scum every week.
Check out our podcast.
Exactly.
You would know.
Well, we're gonna change our name next week to Scumcast.
Yeah.
Scummunity.
Scummunity. Yeah, I like that.
No, that's a term they already use.
You could always start another podcast.
Record it right after this one.
Yeah. No.
This one's already too much work.
Don't have to, video record that one.
Yes.
This is our second week of using phones as our cameras.
Hopefully the first successful week of it.
Yeah. My issue was I had iCloud compressing my videos, so it looked like crap last week.
Mine came unplugged and died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it was
so there was no video episode last week. You didn't miss it.
It was so funny too because like usually the footage or for how long you would have taken it would have been like what, like maybe 15 gigs.
It originally said 18 gigs.
And then it compressed it down to like what?
2.3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 2.3. I'm like, you can't use that crap.
I know I said that and that's how I had my settings marked, but I was really hoping I had more time to get to the video. And I didn't think it was actually going to overwrite the one on the phone. That's what's kind of.
It's Apple for you.
Yeah.
It's not Apple. It's just a function of iCloud.
I don't have a problem with that. Google Drive, it just boop, good to go.
Gotcha.
Mine's a much older phone too.
It's a function of iCloud. It's not anything to do with the phone.
It's Apple.
I've never been a big
ecosystem thing.
Apple's ecosystem.
Gosh. Speaking of Apple.
Yeah.
Talk about something interesting?
Yeah.
Don't care.
Well, that's kind of why I want to talk about it.
I know.
Apple's decided to make a move with iPhone 12, which iPhone 12 was just announced.
Mm-hmm.
iPhone 12 looks kind of cool. Not really.
Kind of throwing it back to iPhone 4 days.
Oh, but if you watch the keynote thing that they did, they're like, all new design, all new concept.
No, it's not.
Excuse me?
My grandma has an iPhone 5S, and it looks just like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's this is kind of like it's a move from Apple this year to move everything to USB-C. So, but it's not the way you'd think.
Okay.
It's super dumb. So they're still using Lightning as the connection on the bottom of the iPhone. My iPhone is not in my pocket. It is recording the video right now.
2 ports?
No. It's dumber than that.
Yes.
On the brick end, it's USB-C. On the phone end, it's Lightning.
You guys just won't get USB-C on phone end for a while.
It's stupid.
They don't want to.
They want to. USB-C is on my iPad.
Obviously, they don't want to.
It's on my iPad.
They would have just done it if they really wanted to.
No, they're.
What's their excuse not to?
Well, so here's the thing. This is what I'm not quite sure about. I'm kind of sure
go.
from a business perspective, but that's not the only thing they've done.
Yeah.
On top of the Lightning to USB-C, there's no power brick that comes with your phone anymore when you purchase it.
Complete sense. Yeah.
But
what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to charge it?
They conveniently have the new USB-C power bricks for sale.
Oh yeah,
you can buy along with the phone.
Your DLC. You buy the season pass.
I don't know. I feel like.
I mean, honestly, I know I rag about Apple, but that just doesn't surprise me though.
Well, it doesn't.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
The thing I kind of wish they would do is if they had just made it a USB-C to USB-A for this iPhone 12, maybe even the 12X or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then go USB-C to USB-C.
But they got to make
13.
it's got to be complicated because they don't make more money. They want to make more money by selling you the power brick. That you need to have this to charge your phone.
Yeah. Well, now we're just not going to have those power bricks. The USB-C bricks are not prevalent. USB-A are.
Yeah.
And that was their claim originally is like, hey, we've got too much waste out there. So part of our eco plan is we're going to pull all that out of the packaging now. So you're not going to get headphones or.
But they are doing the mag charger, right?
You have the cable. Yeah. So you still have the cable on there, so you can still use it. But it's Lightning to USB-C.
Yeah, the new iPhone, iPhone 12 is supposedly supposed to have like a spot on the back that's magnetic connected that works just like the the Apple Watches does.
Well, this is
Good.
good.
Now I'm gonna say like probably the power brick is only gonna work for like iPhones too. They're gonna do some way.
It's USB-C.
Because that's what they do though.
No, it works USB-C. It's just like my iPad. It works fine.
Yeah.
This is so dumb.
But Thunderbolt and USB-C are the same thing. Just they don't want to call it USB-C.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's
it's
getting
just
into like the Microsoft or the.
That's not even a
the other
Microsoft
side.
thing.
No,
It's
but
just
that's getting into the whole other realm. They need to be their own thing with the Lightning.
But that's not the only thing too that they've done this week that's been kind of strange. We saw how they went and they started making their new Apple Silicon. Well, now they've erased all of their audio products secretly off the site, so you no longer can buy Beats. You can no longer buy some of these other third-party brands, and they started to release their own
Stuff, like I said.
audio speakers. So
Was it the Apple Home
Mini,
Yeah.
and their Sonos stuff is not
That
purchasable
sounds
anymore.
very.
Apple.
No, the Apple Home Mini. Is that what it's literally what it's called?
Yeah.
Sounds very much like a product that's been out there for a very long time.
Pretty much.
Like the Google Home Mini.
Yeah,
That's the exact same
Well,
name. They just changed
because
it.
it uses Siri to.
But
I know,
they-
but it's like
smart
they
didn't
also
even just
had
change
them-
the brand name.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
there.
Well, they also had a stake in Sonos too. They don't sell Sonos anymore.
Oh, no.
But these
It's not making as
speakers,
much.
these speakers have all the same digital connectivity with all your services, with all your apps and music and things like that.
Does it even look like the Google Home Mini?
No, it's
It
round.
looks a little different.
The Google Home Mini is round.
Yeah.
No,
It,
not like
it
not
has
how we're talking
it
about.
has kind of like a section out of the top cut out that has like a full like LED.
Looks like an orb, just round.
Yeah.
Looks like Sonos stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, they as it says,
and it
Sonos
has.
ones look like.
That's what I was saying. Like they ditched Sonos, but they also have the
What they
ability.
use in their like design and everything.
Yeah,
We don't want you, but we
they
want
can
everything
pair.
you
They can
got.
stereo pair them too, so
Yeah.
you can actually link multiple like Sonos too. So it's
Yes. We want you. We don't want you.
But we want
everything about you. But we don't want you. That's what they did.
it's not you. It's
Exactly
me.
what
So
Sonos. That was
indecisive.
the Sonos thing. Like you could have a whole house.
Oh yeah, I installed Sonos
in.
in a couple houses, and
But we don't want you. But we want everything you're about.
yeah, I kind of was hoping that Apple would kind of go out with a little bit of grace here with the iPhone 12 launch, but I'm a little disappointed.
I don't see you getting even USB-C on phone side for like another 2 series.
I see it on the 13. Because right now, the thing that they did with iPhone 12 is they were able to work in, at a minimum, now all 3 phones are OLED displays, same resolution.
So what were they been? What had they been?
It's their own Apple.
own thing.
It's just a LCD,
Yeah.
but and they're not
Is it
120
OLED
hertz.
or AMOLED?
It's OLED.
Isn't AMOLED the one that doesn't, whatever parts of the screen is black?
It's OLED.
Is that OLED too?
Yeah.
Then
Well, I find it because that makes sense. Like having an OLED screen.
Turn the LED off for black.
Yeah, you don't even, so it saves so much more power because a lot of my stuff on my phone, I do dark wise or like dark backgrounds and stuff like that.
To
When
save
you have your
power.
yeah, because when you have your screen on, that's the biggest power kill on a phone is the screen on. And if
Well-
you get rid of half the screen actually being on,
yeah.
that's like the always on feature with my phone.
Yeah.
That before I wake it up, it just has the time and date and everything.
It's just those
Everything-
pixels
It's
that are
just
lit.
those pixels being on. So it's like
And low
love that.
brightness.
Well,
Yeah.
the I was watching, was it MQ BHD?
Yeah.
MK, yeah.
QBHD is his brother.
No, he was doing obviously a review of it as he normally does with new Apple products, and he also mentioned too from the keynote that iPhone has come out with a some sort of new like glass that is more like plastic.
It was another like Corning Gorilla Glass
say it's a Gorilla Glass
collaboration thing.
We want you, but we don't want you.
Well, no. This was directly with
Didn't
Corning.
they call it like a polymer? Not.
It's
full-on
more flex.
glass?
It's supposed to be. Was it 4 times more?
I thought he said 14 times more.
I'm gonna look it up.
There was a 4 in it somewhere.
Here's
Yeah.
my question: is can I buy $400 wheels for my phone?
No.
I don't want it then.
That's funny.
I just made myself chuckle when you were talking. I was just kind of laughing. I'm like, what if I can buy
But yeah, it's
$400
supposed to be like the
Ceramic
most
hardened display,
ceramic. That's it.
and this one is supposed to be able to. It's supposed to withhold. It's supposed to be more of a drop proof phone.
Yeah.
I want to see some tests.
And they also now have like 50 different sizes.
No, not
phone?
50.
They
There's
have
the iPhone 12, which is going to be just like my iPhone 11 size. The Pro Max. The Pro is a little bit bigger.
right.
Pro Max, and then there's an iPhone 12 mini. which is the size of like an iPhone
4
5.
Yeah. And they have like 10 different colors or something
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
really milking it.
Yeah.
But most phones come out with a couple of different variants of them
Yeah.
anyways.
I do admit the price of the Mini, I don't necessarily know how big it is because I haven't actually seen it. But the price of the Mini is actually not too bad. But I'm sure I wanted to say it was like $5.99.
Hey.
Which one?
The
Mini? Yeah.
Yeah. And so
It ain't cheap.
Yeah, it's still kind of expensive for the mini version.
right. But like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure battery life is probably cut down a little bit. I'm sure.
Smaller battery anyways.
Like I
Do you
don't
know, does anybody know the price of the 12?
No, I did
Pull
not
it
see
up.
that.
Pull it up. Let's talk about the pricing while we're at it, you know.
Sure.
You can give us the specs too. Do you got all the specs? Can you pull up too?
Yeah, I can do that.
So just to ramble them off for people.
Pull the-
Heard-
I need to look into the Google Pixel 5. Yeah. So I think that's coming out soon too.
This is a comparison between the 12 Pro and Pro Max. I want to see what the 12 is at some point here. But they're still continuing the whole like Super Retina XDR display, which is the HDR.
Any fingerprint
OLED.
reader on it? Or is it all
No,
just face?
It's all Face ID.
Gotcha.
I thought for sure that they would. They just announced on the iPad Mini, iPad Air, the Touch ID on the power button.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that would be coming through with this too.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to do. Just throw it in there.
There's not much different with this phone. It's just like the 11, but there's some new camera. The camera's a little bit better.
And it's probably not really actually worth spending the
No.
Oh,
couple
definitely
$100 extra for the other bigger phone. Or,
Yeah.
They were
but
able
mainly
to.
bigger screen, I would assume, between the Pro.
They were able to allow more light into the lens, so you actually get a little bit clearer picture for video and photo.
better low light stuff.
Yeah.
But there's not much different aside from the design of it. It's an A14 chip.
And every time I open up TikTok, I have to see the advertisement of the iPhone.
Well, the thing
Every
is, like
time
the
it opens up,
A4,
I'm like,
the
"That's
A14 chip is actually not much more powerful than the A12X that was in my iPad Pro. There's a little bit more of they toted a little bit more performance in the neural engine side of things, the Siri and the com stuff, but it's not much different.
Nice.
So I'm more interested in the S or X variant that comes out next year.
Sure.
There was a petition I saw going around to make micro voice variant for Siri.
I would be all for that.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, if this goes anywhere, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would do that.
Yeah.
Get rid
Dude,
of
I
Siri.
love.
Get rid of Siri yourself. Give me
Yeah.
micro.
He's a fantastic voiceover guy.
If I could have like a lunch time to just pick somebody's brain that's still alive,
Sure.
micro is one of the first guys I go to. Just to be able to sit down and chat.
Definitely top 5.
The iPhone
That's like my
12,
top one.
11% thinner, 15% smaller,
And 15% more
16%
expensive.
lighter.
And 50% more expensive.
The Mini is a 5.4 inch Super Retina display.
God, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
We're going back down to like iPhone 4S,
Yeah, we're talking about tiny phones now.
but it's got the full screen
Yeah.
as opposed to like the
Bezel.
bezel version of iPhone 4S.
Can't forget that notch though.
Is it still got a notch, or is it using the whole cutout?
Still got the notch.
Got the notch.
Still don't know how I feel about it.
I-
Now, okay, does like so
I
when
don't
you go to
mind
watch a video, does it span past the notch and then part of the video is cut off?
Yeah,
I'd say that's what I don't like about the notches, because then it's
you
got
just
this.
you get over it really easy.
I know. I forget what phone it was that didn't end up putting a notch. Might have been one of the
I
Samsung
like-
phones that when you would play a video, then it would stop at the bottom of the notch, almost in like your top bar.
If they like, this is gonna sound so silly. If they didn't put like your wireless like signal and like your icons
all
up
the
at the
other
top
info.
where that is, if they put those down below, that would annoy the crap out of me.
Yeah, I see.
But
I
they
would still
utilize that.
I would.
you know.
That's where that's where you should put that stuff, but still make that like
Right.
the taskbar area.
You can shrink your video down.
Just
So
enough to.
it's a 16. What is it? It's not 16:9. It's
Some awkward ratio.
like 16:10 or 16:12.
That's
No,
weird.
what am I thinking of here?
know
My
what
brain's
you're
not.
thinking
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's if you were to zoom in where it cuts off the notch, you're cropping the top and bottom. If you're holding your phone
Yeah.
sideways.
Yeah.
So if you're on YouTube and you pinch in, it'll crop it up to the notch, so you have the full video.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just pulling up the specs since I thought about the Pixel. I guess they're doing the whole instead of the whole notch. And just do just the hole for the front camera.
Like the Samsung series did. I had that phone too, this S10, and that actually turned out really good.
Well, there was really some cool innovative desktop backgrounds you could use for the notch. That they were integrating the notch into, or the hole. Basically, it was the whole one, not the notch, but the hole. There was different backgrounds that you could put on your phone that would utilize the hole to part of the thing. But yeah, the Google Pixel 5 is 19.5 by 9. It's still a little weird.
Yeah.
Not a full 19 by 5. 19.
But one of the cool things that iPhone, you just reminded me scrolling past that, came out
it's
with.
It's not cool at all. It's someone that's like, how can we milk this thing more?
They came out, since it has the magnet.
It's MagSafe. They brought back MagSafe.
Yeah, on
Literally
the back,
brought it back.
You can buy a wallet attachment for your phone.
See,
And on top of that, they claim that the mag charger. They claim that the mag charger is supposed to be able to charge through phone cases.
what is this? The wallet thing for the back?
Yeah.
They're like, how can we accessorize?
How can we
the
make
magnet?
more money?
And it's going to be genuine leather. I mean, come on now.
It's like,
That's
I
awesome.
don't know why they think
I do
that
like-
we want to accessorize this.
I do
and
like
not
the
the
MagSafe
soft-
stuff better than Qi, because now it's one of those things where your phone will stay charging no matter what's going on, but it can pop right off real easy.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Apple Watch, which I really like their charger.
Yeah. Yeah, the
I'm still not sold.
charger for Apple Watch.
Well, you're not an Apple fan, so
Will ever be sold. I had to use an iPhone for a little bit when I had a phone break, and this was like a long time ago. Oh, I hated it.
see, the thing is,
Hated it.
I like that I can be both an employee and a customer.
Yeah.
So I'm not like pissed off at Apple. I'm just like, come on, guys, we could do better.
Yeah. Speaking of phones, there was a new one that also just came out, around the same time, called the LG Wing, and it's kind of going against the whole like new fad of folding phones, and instead it's going back to the old style of sliding phones. And so they have this thing to where it's about probably the size of maybe like a normal iPhone Pro or whatever, but you can take the front screen and slide it to where it makes the shape of a T, and then there's a screen on the bottom on the part that you hold.
It's for people that are multitasking and really just want to keep doing everything while watching a video full
Yeah, you should be
screen.
able to watch a video up top and then still scroll through.
Right. So
message.
yeah, they're trying to make it to where app developers can utilize that, the different portions of the screen, and so you can have texting open on the bottom while you have
Full
something
video,
video going up top.
Movie.
You can have music on one part while you're surfing YouTube or whatever on the other part.
So I can Netflix and text.
Yeah. You could even one of the things that it looks super cool with it is if you're a person that really likes a full size keyboard like you would have like on an iPad or something, you can flip the phone upside down.
So dumb.
Your text thread goes to the smaller part while the keyboard goes to the bigger part, and you can sit there and use both thumbs to type it out. They're even trying to get like game manufacturers that make phone games to be able to like utilize both parts of that. So like they were showing off a racing game that has like the actual like racing part at the bottom with like GPS type stuff on the top, and it seemed pretty silly.
It's like Nintendo DS type stuff.
Kind of.
Use your bottom screen for the map, and
But
then
I mean,
play the game. On the top one.
do you think that would make more practical sense to do something like that than it would be to have something like a folding smartphone?
Well, so here's the thing. I think they're just utilizing. They're coming up with different concepts for this new like multi-screen phone. Mm-hmm. It's just a concept. It's a hey, we figured out how to do
sell
this.
a bunch.
Yeah.
Right? It's
It's a niche thing. It's someone that wants to try something. It's a great phone, by the way. The specs of it are
you know the
great.
price of that? I say it's probably not cheap.
I did not hear the price of it.
I'd be guessing like $1,500.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it up.
Then I was telling him, I said, "Yeah, good luck finding a case for that,
Right.
or a screen protector for the bottom screen
The cool thing is it does have fingerprint scanner on the front screen.
of the big screen."
Yeah. it does have bezeling around the back of the top screen. So when you go to close it, yeah. So when you go to close it, it doesn't trap as much dust and stuff. I would imagine because I don't know how much testing they've done to like see how many times you flip it. If it'll like eventually just
control,
keep like scratching the screen. Like, do you think smartphone manufacturers should go more that kind of route and innovate in that kind of way than they would?
I think they're just playing. I think this is exactly what should happen. It's healthy to figure out kind of what we want to do. You look at some of the Samsung phones, like the Fold.
Yeah.
Well,
I kind of like
testing the waters for down the road.
Yeah.
I like that the phone stays the same thickness, and when they open it up, it's a bigger screen. Like that's
for the wing, you mean?
Yeah, or not just the wing, but even the Fold. Samsung Fold, like any of those. Have you seen that?
You mean it stays the same thickness because you can't fold something in half and be the same thickness?
Yeah.
I'm saying when you open it up, it's the same thickness as a candy bar phone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like you're not really.
But
you
meant it was the same thickness when it was folded. Then I was like, wow, that's not possible.
No, I'm saying that the phone's not getting a lot thicker to experience that. So when you open it up and you have
as a tech gets better.
Because I mean the way that I look at it is that a lot of what I feel, because I don't do a lot of app development, but when it comes to our generic,
do you do any?
Do you do any app development? I don't do a lot.
No, I don't do a lot. Being any,
and I dabble in it, in my free time.
Most smartphones like we have now are the traditional, just basic candy bar style phone. And so app developers can all, make apps for those specific things because they're all relatively the same.
But it's not a widespread adopted thing. So
right. So but then you see smartphone manufacturers are trying to like branch out and do different things, but it's like it's not taking the smartphone industry into one specific niche of a.
There's all of our phones turning into the flip. Or
there's a race right now with display, camera,
battery,
and battery.
Right.
Right now, you can see there's a couple phones. There's actually one. I saw this on Unbox Therapy that they actually were able to put a camera behind the display.
Yeah.
And still have it being used. Now the part behind the camera or the screen in front of the camera, the LEDs are actually farther apart.
Yeah, and they would like shut off basically.
Yeah, so you could actually get an image. So it banked on the fact that it could get between the pixels,
notchless, holeless, basically.
Yeah,
yeah.
And you can, if you look really hard with it off, the thing is that it has to be off. You can kind of see the square where the display is different.
Right. But the fact that you can do
the fact that you can do it's nuts.
Linus Tech Tips just had a video of a see-through television.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw
I gotta watch it.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and so like even that LG Wing has like a feature on it that no phone has currently ever come out with, and that is they call it a gimbal mode, and so it uses the camera's like wide lens, kind of like a GoPro, if you will, to where they can take like a joystick that's supposed to appear on the bottom part and work it just like a gimbaled.
Now that phone has a recessed camera. It pops up from the phone.
For forward-facing camera.
Yeah.
The back-facing camera has 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like it's basically all it's doing is just
cool,
zooming into the image, and then
wherever you're
pointing the gimbal, it's just going to that part of the image.
Which is all software.
There's another phone that did that pop-up camera because I had looked at that phone and I was going to get it from.
There's a Huawei phone that did that.
I mean, that might be the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And on the topic of phone, I was just scrolling through like the information about the Google Pixel 5 because I wanted to look into it, and I was like, why not?
I'd love Pixel phones. I mean,
yeah, I love my 2, but I'm like, okay, I'm 3 series old now. But you guys can get behind this too. They're just black variant. The shell, it's made out of 100% recycled aluminum.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I was like, well,
just
everything's recycled on that Just Black phone. Just kind of cracks me up when they're worrying about phone colors because I'm like, you should just put a case on it because if you don't people, I'm just gonna say this. I'm going out on the record. It's 2020. If you don't put a case on your phone, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Put a helmet on.
You're paying $1,000 for a phone and you're not putting a case on it. I heard
Apparently, they got money to blow.
one of the times
It should be able to withstand the drop from 3
when you've
feet.
got glass on the front and glass on the side, and then aluminum around the side.
Why would you design it that way?
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about you might as well just drop a glass bowl. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna shatter. But a couple phones ago, I was at Verizon getting the phone, and the guy was telling me because I ended up buying insurance, and I'm a proponent.
You're right.
I can get
Advocate.
behind. Yeah, I'm an advocate for buying insurance because I've had to use it a couple times on my phone. Like that's the phone I have right now. I had to replace because the screen got shattered one day at work, so I have insurance on it, and boom, just replace it. Just got a whole brand new phone. The guy was telling me, he's like, yeah, I had a kid come in, he saved up a bunch of his money, mom was with him and all this other stuff, and bought the phone but didn't want to get the insurance just because it was just extra.
Right.
And he said he watched the kid walk out of the store, get to the car, and went to go shut the door, and the phone fell at the same time, and he shut it in the door and shattered it. Come back in, tears in his eyes, and they couldn't do anything because they didn't buy insurance on it.
Oh.
So I'm like,
that
yeah.
hurts.
It makes me sick to my stomach, man.
Yeah, he said he felt bad, but as a corporate thing, I mean, he can't. He's not able to do anything. That's a Verizon thing. That's overall, but you should go. Oh yeah, you should just do that anyways. But they can't.
That's why I buy Apple Care and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My insurance is like $11 a month on it.
Yeah. Like this is like $5. This is about $8, and my phone's like 10.
Yeah. So buy insurance and use it when you need it, because inevitably you're gonna shatter something. It's just
I'm still risking it.
you don't have insurance on yours.
I have never, ever, ever broken a screen on anything that I've owned.
Well, broke it now. Good as done now. You said you didn't break it, so
I have cracked a screen protector.
that doesn't count.
But yeah, I've never actually.
I've never used this.
But I've also
Glass screen protector,
I've
yeah.
used
I
a
have.
case on every single one of my phones. So
I get Alpha Glass every single time I buy a phone.
There was one somebody told me about, like, I think you get it like at the store or whatever, and then they almost like glue it on.
Yeah.
Like where they put it in the heat. I don't know what they did. Or it's like a liquid.
Like it adheses it directly
and
underneath
it
it.
just it adheses it, sinks that right on there.
interesting.
Because that was always the thing before they did the glass screen protectors. It was always crap underneath the other ones, or they'd get all flaky on the end and they'd start to peel. And
Yeah.
Do you think at some point when folding phones are going to get more prominent in the market, like I mean I've never used a flip phone yet, or a flip smartphone. So like, do you think it's going to get to a point where it's going to be a lot harder to use those because all of the software is going to be probably different from one to another to another?
Nope, it's not different because if you look at iOS, I forget which version. I think it was 13, and then Android. What version are you in now?
up to 11, I believe.
11. I think it was 9. I think it came out. It actually supported multiple screens in the kernel.
You talking iPhones did?
Both Android and
Oh,
iOS.
both. Gotcha.
So
they're prepared.
Software, the iOS is going to start
They
making it so
support
that it
natively
can-
now any developer to add an extra screen. It's just gonna,
So
it's going
that's
to
smart on
form
their
to
end
it.
too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Do you think iPhone will ever do anything innovative when it comes to phones, or do you think it's just going to keep
Never have.
plastering out? I know that's what I mean.
I mean,
They're just
they-
going to
they-
keep
they
plastering
did
out
on
the
the
same
first
thing
one.
over and over.
they copy, they perfect, and then
Yeah.
they pump
Yeah.
it out to the public.
You don't ever see any variant. No, I mean, and that's just not me being an Android guy, but that's the cool thing about the Android market is just so many different manufacturers, so many different things to choose from, and
I do have to say,
I
though,
like the options of I want to get a flip phone, or we can get the cool Razr phone, or I can get.
I
The
like
Pixel,
that. The
whatever.
only thing I was frustrated with is that you don't always get quality control with that stuff. I used to
Well,
get
that's why you only buy like the
flagship.
the flagship brands, you know,
Like Google Pixel, great.
Yeah.
This new phone you mentioned from LG,
LG. Like the
like-
good Android ones are Huawei,
Huawei,
Samsung,
Google.
Sony,
LG.
LG. So those are the ones you can trust.
Everything
those.
else
Everything else
is innovation, trying to copy, get cheap stuff too. I mean, it's across the spectrum.
Yeah.
You're going to find everything.
But yeah, that's the one thing Apple doesn't have. They just and when it comes to Google Android versus Apple, Apple's the only one on that side, but the other side is a bunch of different manufacturers.
Yeah. And that's
You
the other
get
thing I ran
Android
into
stuff.
too is like when you're talking about, and I know this a little bit more now that I'm in a position where I'm helping people. But like when you have an iPhone, you call Apple. When you have an Android phone, you got a couple people involved. It could be a Samsung question because it's the because if they embed
Yeah.
Samsung apps into
Oh
Android,
gosh, that was the worst thing about having Samsung phones. They had
I'm
so
like,
many
the
Samsung.
bloatware.
Gosh, you couldn't get them off of there.
Yeah.
But my Google Pixel.
But then it's like,
great.
people get these Android phones. They're like, who do we call for support? Like, you can call Google, but unless it's not something specific about a vanilla OS
Yeah.
or about Google's OS at all, like they just got to call Samsung, got to call LG.
Like I have a, I don't know what you want to call it, like a theme. I don't know. It's another like OS look on top of my Android, and I was having some problems with something, but I was able to actually email or contact. I don't know how I got a hold of that company, but yeah, you have to figure out who you're going to contact.
We've got special customers.
Yeah,
with Apple. Had a guy choose someone out because we wouldn't support them for WhatsApp.
and WhatsApp's Facebook thing, so get a hold of Facebook.
Well, how am I going to call Facebook? We don't know.
Google it.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, because because I shattered my phone, I ended up. I don't know who.
You had insuring.
Yeah, because I had to call the insurance company for that. It was kind of funny because then they had a guy come to the house to replace the screen, didn't he? Is that what he did? Because you were there. I think he just pulled my screen off and put another screen on.
Which you never see happen with Apple.
Yeah, and so this guy literally came to the house and just did it while I was at the house. Yeah. And but what ended up happening was that screen was also bad because like an hour later I noticed a pink pixel down near the bottom.
Yeah.
I was going to ignore it, but then all of a sudden it turned into a pink line up the side. So I was like, okay. So I called him next day at work and explained it to him, and I had Kevin take pictures on his phone so then send it to me so I can show them that I'm not like, and I had the tile on the screen of, okay, this is when it was replaced, but here's already, it's broke.
Right.
And they were like, the lady was super nice. She's like, yeah, we'll just overnight you a new phone. She said, it's not even worth trying to replace that one again. So we'll just send you another one and you just send that one back. I had it next day, literally next day.
See, I wish that we had more of that
like, yeah, here you go.
with Apple, because as it sits right now, and it's horrible, but they have something called Express Replacement Service. So if you have Apple Care, it's a service on top of your Apple Care that will basically mail you out a new phone.
Yeah.
And then you just mail us back your other one when you get it set up.
Yeah, a lot of times. So I guess the whole different company thing, if it comes to you broke your phone, if something's shattered, then if you have insurance, I
didn't get to the worst part.
Sorry, go ahead.
The worst part is they put a hold on your credit card for the MSRP of the phone.
Of course. Yeah, that's this lady. Because when I asked her, so I was like, I took pictures of it to like show that it's not broke, and I was like, you sure you don't need that? She goes, yeah, it's fine. She's like, we'll just overnight you another phone. Yeah. She's like, tell me a business address because it's easier that way. And I'm like, I'll just tell you where I work, and I got it at lunch the next day. I was like, holy cow, that was quick.
Yeah, we ship it fast, but I mean, people that have like a Pro or Pro Max, you're looking at about a $800 to $1,000 charge. They just hold on a credit card.
Some people can't do that.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't even do that. Like, if you get me right on payday, I could do that. But
no.
I got bills I got to pay right away.
Right.
And I wouldn't be able to withstand a hold on my account for that much. That's ridiculous. Because like what Android does, or what at least my insurance company would, is if they hadn't gotten it back within a certain amount of time, that's when they was going to start charging you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That should be how it is.
Yeah, they give you the packaging to ship it back there.
But Apple just wants it up front.
Now because I don't know much about when it comes to technical stuff with Apple. If you have an iPhone 11 and you buy the 12, it's like for Google, when I had this Galaxy whatever, I don't know, 6 or whatever, when I got the Google Pixel 2. And the way Google does when you set up a new phone, I literally plugged in, they came with an adapter, USB-C to USB-A adapter. I plugged it into my Samsung phone and then plugged that into my Google phone and literally copied everything. It brought over all my apps. It brought over my pictures, my contacts, everything, settings and all that. It mirrored it and cloned it onto my Google phone.
Yeah.
Does Apple does the same thing when you get a new phone?
They have something called Quick Start. You just put phones side by side, kick on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on both devices.
So yeah, same thing.
And then on one phone, it'll say, hey, actually on your old phone, it'll say, hey, so notice some new phones here. What do you want to do? Hit setup. And then you hold, there's like an orb. Basically, it's a unique identifier.
How new is that?
It's been in there since iOS 11.
We're on
14.
Okay.
But basically, you put the camera from one phone over the other one, and it grabs the identifier, and you just lay them side by side, and it just everything over to the other phone. Wallpaper, settings, everything.
Yeah, I was saying, that's like, I was blown away when I did that with my Pixel. I'm like, I don't have to do any setup. Just use it right away. I don't have to like upload everything to the cloud and do all this other stuff.
And you don't have to have internet at home to do this. You don't have to have anything. It's all ad hoc. So
Yeah, it makes
no one ever
sense.
uses that term anymore, but I like it.
That's what?
Ad hoc. Peer to peer, like point to point.
What's ad hoc stand for?
I don't know. I just know it's a term.
Did you look that up, tell viewers, because I'm lost as well.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
I look at something real quick.
Do you know if you're using it in the right context?
I haven't looked it up yet. You're just gonna fill the air with nothing. Okay.
Well, yeah, just check something.
Does that feel? Yeah, I need to start looking at a phone. Because what I do with my phones is I just put them on my Verizon bill, and it just adds $30 a month, and I pay it that way because I can't. I'm not in a position to be able to afford it outright,
Right.
And so I'd like to see what Google's phone plan is like anymore nowadays. It was kind of expensive because I
had it for a while.
Yeah, and I was getting, but like, because you was paying for the amount of data that I use, it wouldn't have been any more economical. And it was funny because when I had the Samsung phone, the Verizon, I forget what the data amount was that I had. It was a long time ago, like 7-8 years ago. So I might have had like a 3 gig plan, which is like blows your mind away that we had a 3 gig plan. And they sent me an email saying that they would just double to me to a 6 gig plan for nothing. It's kind of like, I was like, well, that's little. And I didn't look at it right. I didn't think, whatever.
Yeah, I think I remember that doing that to ours.
Yeah, and so I was like, I don't believe it. And I got another email. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call him. So I called the lady at work one day, and she's like, yeah, we'll just do it. And she said, and I asked her 3 times during the phone call. There's no charge, no upsell, no nothing. You're just going to give me the 3 extra gigs. She's like, yep. I'm like, all right, do it. And that last time was like, are you sure?
Right.
Because there's nothing extra. She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, fine, whatever.
I don't recall them ever telling us on ours. It was like when I went to
I had
go
to like activate it. I had to like set it up.
right,
They just
but
didn't
like
do it.
I went to I don't think it was my current phone, but the one I had before it. I went to go buy that one, and the lady was like, I think we only had a 6 gig plan between me and my parents, and like I go in the one day and to change my phone out, and she's like, all right, so we'll be keeping you at about our 12 gig plan or whatever. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what?
12.
Like,
Yeah.
which I mean isn't much,
Yeah, it's
but
still crazy to think about with 12.
but like we're sitting there, I'm like, I know we've had 6 for the longest time because that's always been like really annoying to like, once you hit like 5 gigs, you're like, well, crap, now I gotta watch my usage.
When did you guys get your first phone?
For smartphone,
No, just first cell phone in general. Mobile phone.
my dad had a bag phone in his truck.
No, when did you
When did I?
personally have your own phone? Not that you had to buy it. I mean,
Right. No, it
your
was.
first phone that your parents gave you, whatever.
Gosh, that
Because
had
we're
to
not of the
be-
generation that we got phones in like first grade.
That would have to be maybe 2000.
You know what grade you were in?
I know my phone. I know the provider.
I still have.
I have a
mine.
photo of my phone up on my screen right now.
I still have it.
I had.
Oh, I don't.
I gotta find it. It's
Oh,
in the
you
storage.
had.
My provider was Altel.
Dude, mine was.
That's even more swankier than the one I had.
I had the Kyocera KX1 Soho.
Mine was
Sarah, that's only like a printer brand anymore.
Uh-huh.
That's all they did.
And I was pumped because this phone had the LCD display on sideways on the outside of the phone.
When did you get that? When would that have
I
been?
think I was like 15,
Yeah.
Do you know
14.
what year that would have been?
No, it was a long time
Dude,
ago.
my first one was a freaking Virgin mobile phone.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that brand.
Yeah. And it was it was one of those pay as you go type ones too.
Yeah, this one, it was a Nokia phone.
Yeah.
I got it in 8th grade. It was my parents' phone, and they gave it to me. It was one of the ones that had the antenna that stuck up off the side, and you had to pull the antenna out.
Right.
The screen was only yellow with black text. There was no other color to it.
Whoa.
And then it had a keypad, but it had like a little tiny plastic cover on it, and you pulled that cover down,
Yeah.
and you play Snake on it. That was about it.
Nice.
I don't
And
think
that
mine had
it
games
was
on
only
it.
used for calling and texting.
Yeah.
And texting.
Yeah, my
Believe it or
phone-
not, if you're a younger viewer, texting used to only be like a Twitter, 140 characters, and that was it.
And it used to be on a regular phone dial pad, and it's called T9.
T9.
Yep.
Well, before that, T9
Wasn't even a thing.
wasn't even
at
a
the
thing
very
yet
beginning.
when I first started. Yeah, you had to hit each, like you had to hit A, or to get to C, you had to hit 1 3 times to get to C.
Yeah.
But then T9 was kind of like the first smart keyboard thing. Would
You ever watched the-
recognize?
Toy Story, I don't know if it's 2 or not, but the part where Ham is like cycling through the channels on the TV looking for the chicken guy that owns, it's Al's Toy Barn. It's that one.
Right.
And he's just like, he flips the channels and like, it's there. He's like, gotta go around the bend. Or like it's basically, that's what it was. If you go through and you cycle through and you see one again, you just got to go 4 more until you get back to C.
I will say, because what type, do you guys have like swipe or anything on?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's all I've been using for since.
Yeah, I like it.
Super fast.
Yeah. But it's still, if you're good enough at it, you can do it without looking. But it's
Yeah.
still iffy because you have no actual feedback.
Yeah.
T9 was the best and still is the best texting device to not look at while you're texting.
Yeah.
You used to be able to drive and text, and I knew because you only had 9 buttons to choose from, and I could tell what I was typing, and I could type a whole message out without even looking at the phone.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do
Now
that
you,
now.
now you don't even have to type.
I
You just-
even say,
I honestly, I would say 75% of the time when I even message you guys on Facebook or anytime, it's usually speech to text.
right.
I'm so,
Yeah.
I mean, I was walking around here doing stuff, and I was just using my phone and speech to text.
Right.
I mean, I can't go back from that. It's so much nicer.
Yeah.
It's much quicker. But you got to learn how to enunciate your words.
Right.
I'm doing it. But I'm used to that through working at school and stuff, having to work with that with Seth on pronouncing words better.
Yep.
So he understood. But yeah, I still have mine in a storage unit somewhere. And I was thinking about it. I should find it.
Yeah, the phone I had after that was one of the slide with the full-on keyboard.
My next one was, I don't know if it slid, but I had one of those, I think it was a Samsung phone. I think the first Samsung Galaxy phone was not really a smartphone, and I think it was one that it flipped open sideways.
Yeah.
Like it had a screen on the front with still a full keypad.
Oh,
it was
wait,
like the
no.
Razor.
And then it opened up, and the screen on the inside was full big.
I went from Virgin Mobile to an Alltel flip phone.
Yeah.
Alltel.
And then,
That's what
but it wasn't the same one. It was
Yeah.
like gray with I think it still had a sideboard screen.
Were you guys ever like I was and would just go to Radio Shack all the time just to look at the phones?
Yep.
And like the
not
one that
for the phones,
I
but
wanted to get the most was that Razor.
yeah.
The Razor was the
Razor's-
phone to have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Razor was the equivalent of having an iPhone.
What do you think
Or
about the
New
new
Razor.
Yeah.
It's tiny when it's folded.
Yeah.
The other phone that was super popular was BlackBerry Pearl.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was so wanted a BlackBerry because I thought it'd been cool to have it.
But like they were like
I had
so
a-
expensive.
Had the silver version of the BlackBerry Pearl. Thought it was the coolest thing. in the world.
stylist.
No stylus on it.
No stylus on
The
that one?
Pearl was the smaller one.
Yeah, no offense.
Yeah.
I miss Radio Shack.
I did too.
Even though they're
there
kind of
was-
crappy stuff, I still
There
like
was
them.
there was one thing about Radio Shack that I will never forget, and it got me into like loving RC stuff.
Zip Zaps.
No, they were called
Zip Zaps
X mods.
Yeah, Zip Zap was kind of
Yep.
the same thing.
Yeah,
Zip
and
Zaps was a
they-
little bit smaller.
Right, but that like X mods were like full on cars
Yep.
that had like an actual like sectional frame under it, and you could like change motors. You could
Yep, you could do that
change
with Zip Zap,
steering.
too.
Yeah, you could change body kits, wheels.
It was the coolest thing because you could change out bodies on Zip Zaps. You could
Suspensions.
change out. You couldn't do suspensions.
Wheels.
You could change out the axles, which had a different gear ratio on them.
Yeah.
And change out motors.
Yeah.
To give you either higher speed or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, and they
Zip
came
Zaps were
with
the
like
coolest things. I thought.
so many different.
I thought about that like last week sometime. I
Yeah.
don't know why I thought of Zip Zaps.
I
I
went
used
to
to
Radio
have
Shack to look
so
at
many.
capacitors and resistors.
Yeah, I did that too. You go pull the
build
drawer
crap.
out. Yeah. Pull the drawers out.
When I was
I used to
building
go
my
in there
guitars,
enough. Like the guys over at the mall, they knew me.
Yeah.
I knew them because I was in there so often just to look around.
I was like, whenever I had a guitar project and I was like messing with my like any kind of pickup situation, or whatever, I would go into.
You know, Radio Shack gets a bad rap for being crappy stuff, but it was still
No.
fun.
Yeah, it's the perfect like project place,
Yeah.
tech
If you're
project.
not an elitist, you like Radio Shack.
Yeah,
You understand reality. Radio Shack.
pretty much.
Speaking of reality, yeah, segue.
that literally opens it up to anything.
I know. Well, our
of
reality of
everything.
Marvel stuff coming up is going to be kind of different. This whole new next phase, phase 4. I think we're going to get into a lot of the Secret Wars stuff. And so the next really big one you're going to have to look to at is going to be that next Doctor Strange movie, Into the Multiverse. It's going to open up a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Rumors of there being Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, the next Spider-Man.
Which is
It would,
wild.
because of the multiverse. They will also be Spider-Man. Sony hasn't fully. Sony came out with something, but they said the rumors aren't not true. Like everything, they didn't say yes.
We
they're
are not
true.
confirming or denying
Exactly, that's all
the
they
presence
did.
of the human child here.
That's all they did.
Monsters Inc. Anybody?
Which one? Is there only one?
The first one.
Is there two?
No, there's.
There's
Monsters
Yeah.
University.
It's just when they
Watch
there's a
University.
multiverse.
when they had the
University was
kid
cool.
presence at that sushi place. You're like, I can't confirm or deny the presence of a human child here on the
I
news.
remember that.
But now there's an idea or a rumor kind of going around that Tony Stark could come back, but it won't be the Tony Stark we know.
Right.
It's going to be a different Tony Stark from a different multiverse.
Right.
Because Loki died, but now Loki's back.
Yeah.
Because of Endgame.
Right.
Him jumping into another reality.
Speaking of Robert Downey Jr.,
reality.
I've heard that some of the guys that are currently working on Star Wars stuff for Disney are wanting him to be in the Star Wars universe.
Did they say like who?
No, but they just said
Snoke.
that they're wanting to get him.
I don't know.
That'd be weird. They're
Snoke's
wanting.
dead.
I know.
Spoiler.
They're wanting him to.
Are you kidding me?
Snoke's dead as well as the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
Online. I can't do 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well,
They
technically,
just didn't do it for me.
the Sith is dead now, right?
I don't know. I didn't watch the newest
Supposedly.
one.
Because
9 even out yet to watch?
freaking all the Jedi
I mean,
ripped
he
up.
it was supposed to be dead after 6, but then
Surprise! But yeah, we got to bring it around. And here's number 7. It's exactly like number 4.
yeah.
By the way,
mean-
we've been off fighting in a planet, and all the Sith is here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The movie looked fantastic, but still, the
The only thing good now are like the spin-off movies, Rogue One and Star Wars, or the
Rogue
I also
One was so
I also
good.
did
Rogue One was
hear
Mandalorian season 2.
Mandalorian like
Boba Fett's coming back.
someone was trying to ask the directors of Mandalorian if they would do something like a movie, and they said that they're not opposed to it. So maybe
I'm okay with the season because you actually get more.
I like it too.
Because they're, I mean, $15 million. I don't like to see what the actual budget is for the second season.
Yeah.
First season, $15 million per episode.
Right.
Per episode.
That's what it was per episode. That's why it was so good.
Yeah.
That's why it looked amazing. The CGI, the level of quality, everything's $15 million per episode.
You know what I could do with
And
one
it's just
episode?
going to keep going up from there.
Yeah, that's our next budget for the podcast. Here.
I mean,
$15 million bucks.
I'm going to pull it up. I think we're at like $4.80.
We're closing on that $5 mark, everybody. So
Hang
hit
on
that
to your
support
butts.
button because we're gonna have a party. We're buying a McDonald's burger.
We're going to split it
that.
3 ways.
Also Gamora was dead too. Now Gamora is back.
Right.
to
Yeah.
being, but it's not the same Gamora.
Yeah, slightly
It's not the
different
same Gamora. It's a Gamora from
in the past.
long time.
$4.89.
489.
Yeah.
Slow it down, people.
We can't handle this. This is a lot of pressure.
But yeah, so
You're
there's
too kind.
phase 4 is going to deal with a lot of like the Secret War stuff, which is also from the comic books. Each new installment will tell a different story, whether it's a regular Marvel movie or Disney Plus, because now Disney Plus stuff's going to start. You're going to have to watch the Disney Plus stuff
Right.
as well as the
Already
movies to
got
get everything
Right.
Digging it.
all together.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. I like that.
Yep.
And they've been doing that too for a while with some of the other like Netflix shows, and so, like especially with Agents of Shield. They didn't correlate exactly. They correlated with the movies. So, but like after Civil War happened, that affected what happened in Agents of Shield that
Right.
season. And
Yeah, they
whenever
didn't-
Hydra came out, that was a whole
They didn't
season of
make
Hydra
it
problems.
right. They didn't
They
make
would-
it like a
You didn't have
movie
to
runner,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
didn't have to see. They didn't really. They only brought a couple people over from the movies. You know, Coulson was there from the movies.
right.
Somebody from Thor, one of the
The
girls
chick.
from
Yeah.
she was in a couple episodes.
Yeah. And then
I don't remember who else, if anybody else was brought over.
I want to say yes, but I can't picture him at the moment.
I mean, some of the Kree,
Yeah.
like
Right.
the blue guys from Guardians of the Galaxy. Ronan was Ronan was in it at some point, but like an early version of Ronan or something. Yeah,
why
that
can't
guy. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're
Fury
talking
was
about.
Oh yeah, Fury,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean,
That's
just for a few episodes, but
Yeah. Well, didn't it end with what ended with Fury in space? Was that end of Captain Marvel? Yeah, that was end of
Yes.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was up in space because that wasn't Fury. That was
Right.
No, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Not Far From Home. Not Spider-Man: Not Far From Home, because remember that wasn't Fury and what's her face?
oh, right,
that wasn't
right.
them. That was the
right,
Kree.
right. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
And so, but then it ended with Fury up in space, and you're
Right.
like, what's Fury doing in space?
Yeah. And then you're sitting there wondering, wait, is that Fury?
Yeah, that one I believe.
Because
was Fury.
that could be another
Kree.
another Kree.
Yeah, that one I believe was Fury.
Shape shifting.
Yeah.
Morphing.
They're all Krees.
But yeah, there's a
What if we are
possibility.
all Kree and we just
What
don't
if
know?
I'm a Kree? So I'm reading something in this article that makes me actually quite excited that some of the next villains are going to be Doctor Doom. Just sick. He's an
Yeah.
awesome villain. Galactus, my favorite.
Yeah.
So hoping to see him and Kang the Conqueror, which not a lot of people know.
Right.
Galactus would be cool.
Yeah, I'm so ready for Galactus. I've been ready for years. But a lot of it's going to be, I think you're going to see them face themselves. Because you're going to have alternate realities of themselves.
Right.
And they're going to have to go off against like the shadow version type of thing of themselves. There's a lot. I need to go back through and just start watching from like, I was talking with Shu yesterday.
She-Hulk? Huh? She coming back?
Coming back.
I mean, is she going to come in the movies?
I've heard rumor that they had like chose a character.
List. I've not seen She-Hulk in the list of. She might be like a.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I heard that like they actually signed an actress to play said person, but there's
isn't she pink?
Green.
She's green still.
Yeah. She wears a pink outfit, like a pink uni thing.
Yeah.
But no, so I need to go back and like start watching some of the old Marvel movies to get myself back into the swing of things and get myself.
Start all the way over. Just watch them all over.
Well, yeah. Now I have to check if Disney Plus app is updated to have them in a timeline order, like we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Because they changed that. I need to go back and I need to watch Ant-Man 2. I've not watched that yet. It's the only MCU film I haven't seen yet, which was like a big play into the Infinity War.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Endgame, not the whole time travel deal.
Yeah.
But that's all I really got in Marvel news this week. So we might see Tony Stark, but I think they'll do it in a way that it's not going to ruin Endgame.
Right.
Because like I'm okay with never seeing him again.
Right.
Favorite character, but still okay because
it was given justice for his ending.
Right.
That's like I hate when they do Joker, the movie Joker.
Yeah.
I think you and I the one that watched it?
I think so. Yeah.
So I remember leaving there going, they're going to ruin this whole movie by making another one.
Right.
And I seen months later they want to make another one.
Well,
I don't want another movie. He ended it perfectly fine.
It kind of like, I mean, you see all of the Joker movies that are out there, all the Batman movies that Joker is in, and it like almost perfectly set up a segue to make it to where, well, these are all the reason why all the other Jokers are out there. Like it's almost like a multiverse of Jokers, but that's I mean, along with your point, they don't have to go back and explain.
I don't want a Joker 2 movie.
Like
I think the way the Joker did their movie was
perfectly.
They showed out the coolest way how, because every Joker in all the different movies have a different origin story.
Right.
His was more true, and I like that. Of it showed what society can do. They just put this guy out into society that was already pretty messed up, and then just society beat the crap out of him and showed him what the villain can come out and be like. That was like more realistic.
Yeah.
Rather than being like thrown in a pit of acid and come out to be some crazy mutant or whatever.
Yeah.
It was realistic, and you could almost feel with him.
Right.
Even though he's technically a villain, he was like the hero of the movie.
Because I mean, you could now go into the Dark Knight and like be like, even though it's a completely different Joker, you could still relate both Jokers together because he was the, like, at least in the Joker movie, he was supposed to be the one sparking the anarchy and causing other people to want to be the Joker character, you know.
Can you imagine having the Joaquin Phoenix Joker in Batman?
Oof, that'd be
so cool.
That would be interesting.
He was ruthless too.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I was going to say something else. I don't remember. Yep, don't remember. Oh well.
Cricket. There you go. So.
Hey, we got it in. And that was to smack a bug?
Almost. Yeah. And I was like, I might as well make this the clap. But I saw this bug flying around.
That's funny.
Did you guys, did you have something you were going to bring up?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. We're making this a longer podcast because I still got a really cool topic that I want to talk about today.
That's, I mean, only like an hour 4 in. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was going to talk about is Xbox.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because this is kind of interesting. So Sony's going to have a little bit of hurting this year at product launch time.
What?
They're hurting.
Hurting. Okay.
Hurting. Because there's quite a few things that Microsoft has up their sleeves as far as the Xbox goes, aside from just the consoles being amazing and new gen and everything like that, next gen.
I thought they were supposed to be so similar, though.
Console plebs.
Similar in what sense?
Just like
PlayStation and Xbox?
I mean, they're like
yeah, this is like outside of
their
the
exact same
performance.
time.
yeah, outside of the performance of the consoles.
Oh, I see.
So Xbox is you would think that this would probably been a better thing to come up with back when GameStop was actually like important before they started shutting down stores. Mm-hmm. But GameStop is now partnered with Microsoft. And
Really?
to the point where GameStop will reportedly be getting cuts of Xbox games.
Even if you don't buy them at GameStop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like they've got
a
enough of a
bold
market
move.
share situation going on that.
So if you buy it off of wherever else, Walmart,
Yeah.
GameStop's still getting a portion of that.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is,
They're just really milking it there for GameStop. I don't know how GameStops are alive anymore.
Yeah.
no, I don't know either. But the thing is, like with GameStop, like now, people still look at GameStop and GameStop.com to buy their stuff. And GameStop still is
console. Console players, that's still one of the better places to go.
but they have no financial reason to push Sony at all
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or
Dude,
form.
what if they do the same thing with Sony then?
It's probably some
They
clause
can't.
in the contract.
They can't work with Sony. That'd be so messed up.
Microsoft would be like, no, see you now.
Yeah.
But on top
It's
of
not
that,
hurting Microsoft much any.
Right.
You know, they're giving
Yeah.
money to GameStop. But
they're still
if I go to trade in my game, am I still going to get like $1.59?
only for
They got
Sony games.
they got a little bit more money in their pockets now. They better be pushing out some good prices of some trade.
So they're still going to be selling Sony games. They're just not
they'll sell
connected
'em,
with them. Yeah.
right? They're still going to sell PS5 games, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a huge market. That's half their.
basically,
There's only three things,
'Cause that would
three
be-
consoles that they sell stuff for.
that'd be like
Nintendo, PS,
taking-
Sony, and Xbox.
Two steps forward and one step backwards.
Yeah.
basically what's happening is we're seeing the Steam of the console world come out, because what they're trying to say is that because GameStop was so ingrained in the bread and butter, which was their selling and reselling of physical copies of games for consoles, they wanted to get a piece of the pie for the next gen consoles being digital and digital only versions
Yeah.
of their consoles, so they get
I want to see all game purchases go digital
Yeah.
for the one sake of less e-waste.
I get that, but I also struggle with their price.
Yeah.
We talked about
The same still though.
we talked back at like the first episode. $70 is going to be the new 50.
Yeah, but is it going to be any cheaper to buy the physical copy?
Yeah, third party. That's what I was saying with GameStop. Like you can go, like let's say I went and bought a game. For $60. 2 months later, I could find it there used for $29.99.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, we don't have a used market when it comes to PC stuff.
That's what's frustrating.
But I'm okay with that for compared to the fact
But-
that how much.
You can still gift games to people, at least for Steam.
Well, if you purchase a second copy, but now they're working on giving away your copy.
Yeah. I mean,
Which I'm cool
I
as
could
long as
see
we
if
suss that out.
Steam could do that where they still make a portion of that resale.
Yeah,
And they could go, okay, we'll take this percentage. You can sell your game copy that you don't play anymore. Your key basically is what you're selling. You can sell your key for that game on our marketplace,
Right.
and we get a portion of it. And then, but also it could be like a live economy where the prices of that changes for what the demand is for that game.
Well, and the other side of the coin I was going to talk about too with Xbox and what they're doing that's smart as far as their release of their console. I'll make this short, but basically the thing that I thought was pretty crazy is their Project X Club and what that looks like for anyone that's gaming. Because at some point it's going to get to the point where they're not going to need to sell a console. You can use your phone, you can use your tablet that you already have to play 4K, 60 FPS,
Wow.
as long as you've got a decent internet connection.
And they're starting to do that. When I was at TwitchCon, they were showing, I don't know what company it was showing off that you could play a AAA title game on a beast of a computer, but your computer doesn't have to do that. You're streaming it from that computer from their warehouse
Yeah.
type of thing.
And that's what's happening right now. This article is actually showing Doom running on a Samsung fridge. 60 FPS.
Dude, what was it? I saw like someone used like an old calculator and like reprogrammed it to actually play.
Oh,
like,
Doom Classic. Yeah.
Doom Classic.
Why don't
or
we
something.
have an Apple fridge yet?
Oh my gosh. We had the Amazon microwave,
I didn't know that one either.
Amazon microwave?
the Echo microwave it was. Stupid.
I've never heard of that.
But all that to say, I actually personally tried out Stadia. I've played Destiny 2 on my phone with my Xbox controller, and it was sick. I mean, latency is just not a thing. Now, when you get into like FPS games, it's back when Stadia first came out, things were a little bit difficult with precision. He's trying to get this little flying bug.
Just don't hit the mic.
I know. I can't see it anymore.
But by and large, if you're playing any kind of adventure game, you're perfect. You're fine.
Yeah. I tried playing that. I had the what was the Steam?
Oh, Steam Link.
Steam Link. I have that.
Yeah,
It was like a $5
that was garbage
thing.
compared to the Stadia.
And I couldn't use, couldn't do Rocket League on it because there was too much lag from the game to my controller.
Right.
But somehow they perfected that now. It's wild. As long as you basically saying their minimum requirement to be able to play a game is 10 meg internet,
Which
dedicated. Obviously,
Yeah.
it can't be everyone sucking down the pipe at the same time. But
it's a Chewie can't play it.
it's entry level. I mean, base package for Spectrum is 100 by 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that was all I was going to say because it's pretty sweet that you don't need anything to really run it. They just have a server farm with graphics cards and CPUs and everything running, and you just kind of grab a percentage of it.
Yeah.
And it works really well.
Nice.
So yeah, I just burped. I feel it. It's crazy.
Smell it too.
No, it was internal.
I know.
I can smell my internal burp.
Yep.
I mean, it does.
All right, and the conversation that's closing out the night.
All right. So this is kind of, I'll read a little bit of this article and then we can dive into our thoughts on it. But this is from PC Gamer. This came out last year. The title of the article is "The Pressure to Constantly Update Games is Pushing the Industry to a Breaking Point." So here's a sobering thought. The EA spouse revelations came to light 15 years ago. 2004, a partner of an EA employee, so an EA employee's spouse wrote this, wrote about her conditions, the conditions her significant other was working under during a particular brutal crunch period. He worked 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week with the occasional Saturday evening off for good behavior. No overtime pay or other compensation. No deadline for when this would end. He was not alone. Subsequently, others spoke out about similar conditions. There were class action lawsuits with which EA would choose to settle for millions of dollars. In the 15 years since, the conversation about crunch in the game industry has spread beyond whisper networks and isolated exposés, becoming much more common. Developers have been emboldened to speak out about conditions at other employers, from Rockstar to Telltale to NetherRealm. But crunch remains a serious problem. Recently, another story has become intertwined with crunch. Developers aren't just being worked into the ground to hit a development milestone or a release date because for many games, that's just the starting line. Living games demand a constant stream of content, and only consistent work can deliver that. So the idea is a living game, which is like most games, like the one we play is Scum. Scum would be considered a living game because it's constantly getting updated and they're constantly working at it.
Right.
So the developers are constantly going to be working on this game they've already been doing it for over 2 years now.
Right.
And they're constantly.
But
that was 2 years after it released.
But that's a normal pace.
But is it though?
I think
We don't know what
you're talking about is the conditions that people are meeting deadlines with.
I know, but they also have like what they do back in. I mean, those developers aren't just leisurely getting to this 0.5 update. Yeah. They're probably crunching it because it takes a lot of stuff to do what they're wanting to do for these updates, and the demand for having a big update and a worthwhile update.
If that's true,
is going to
it's
be
self-inflicted because that's stupid.
Yeah.
I would
But is it though?
understand.
Because
I would understand Call of Duty comes out every
mutually
December.
Self-inflicted. It's mutually because that's the demand that the customers expect out of the devs, and so it's vice versa. So that's partially comes from us because
I expect updates but not every week.
No, but I mean, so like Sea of Thieves, monthly updates. I can only imagine what those guys are working on every month because they put out a brand
But they
new
set
stuff.
that pace.
But because we were wanting that, the community was not happy with having 1 or 2 updates a year, and because they wouldn't do fixes in between updates, they would just wait till an update to fix all the bugs.
Yeah.
Well, people are stupid.
Well, I mean, you don't want to wait another year to have. Another
No,
Scum
but I'm also
update.
super understanding because I understand a lot of what makes games
I know, but
tick.
that's just
so.
you that though.
Yeah, I mean,
I know. I'm saying for me. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's the normal
That's
thing.
why though. That's the community is also pressuring the game developers to get more content update.
You could look at it this way, like back before online gaming was really big, like it was basically just story driven games,
Yeah.
and so
It's the
all
online
of
is what
those,
pushed it.
all of those have been perfected and usually had most of the bugs worked out of them. So
If not,
like,
you just lived with it.
right, and so just like you said, like when it came to online playing, there was constant discovering of problems and stuff. So when it came down to it, it's the online community has been pushing to the point that they want to perfect those games that they've made, and then in doing that, they have to update a lot more frequently than what they had to in the past, to where, you could look at like games like Battlefield. When those first came out, the only updates I recall were updates for DLC.
Yeah.
I don't really
like
recall.
Bad Company 2, it came out, and even an online version.
Right.
And that was it. It was out.
Yeah,
it was
and
good.
I don't remember a ton of updates that they had, but now it's like, okay,
season passes. You expect constant updating. This quote says, "Live games are so permanently in a state of development. There's no breather just because the game shipped."
Yeah.
So they ship. It takes years to get to the release date.
Yeah.
But they're not done.
See,
they're only halfway through, and then they start, and then they still got years.
Right.
I use DayZ as an example.
Yeah.
It took how many years to develop it. And then you're still 8 years later working on the game. Right. They have not stopped working on that game.
To me,
it's constant.
To me, I think manufacturers should, in order to pace themselves, they need to work on the best product that they can, knowing that it will probably have its problems, depending on whether they're online or just a single player campaign, which most likely is, going to be both. And so they need to try and perfect that as much as they can, but then let their market base or advertise that, hey, like, this is not going to be what do they call that? A game that with a bunch of like
fluff.
Yeah, add-ons and stuff. Like it's not going to be that kind of a game. Just be like, hey, look, we're going to update it at these times throughout the year. Unless it's a problem. Like, look at Call of Duty. Like they started hitting, a bunch of problems after they came out with their massive update. Well, if you had that big of an update, why the crap are you coming out with it with that many problems?
Yeah.
That
stuff doesn't get found out until thousands of people play it. And
right.
Then,
so it's like, to me, they need to I would have been perfectly fine waiting on that update had they actually sat there, taking the time to work those problems out, and then push that update,
but the community doesn't. They're pushing because
right.
people need that constant feed of entertainment.
Right.
And if they're not getting it, they're getting bored. They're going to leave that game. Mm-hmm. And developers don't want that. So they constantly feel like, we have to keep them active and keep their small minds busy. So you have to constantly give them updates.
So I feel like at some point, the entire industry has to agree that, hey, we have to slow things down. You're right. It's not a healthy limit to have, and to me, the only way to combat it is to slow things down, but at the same time, add so much to your game to want people to come back. I don't know if I know of any other way to combat it other than to get the entire industry to just slow down.
It doesn't take the entire industry. It takes one particular AAA title brand.
But they would phase out though.
No, I think if Call of Duty skipped a year,
and don't put out a brand new game every freaking year.
Yeah, perfected a story, added in a zombies mode, added in multiplayer.
Right.
Who cares about it?
That's kind of like Battlefield did that. You didn't have a Battlefield game every 6 months come out. Yeah. And I know Call of Duty was split between two different development teams. You had Respawn and
but they're so different
else.
too. It's Activision and
Respawn.
Treyarch.
That's it.
So the rest of this article says what's changed is that AAA games can no longer be patched by a skeleton staff after the release. Nowadays, players demand big updates, and games have trained them to expect those updates to be frequent. First, there were season passes and limited duration events. Now, live games are so permanently in a state of development, there's no breather just because the game shipped. As an extreme example, there's Fortnite. Mind you, this was from last year.
Mm-hmm. They created this ecosystem.
Yeah. Part of it. And no, I wouldn't say that they created it. They
didn't help.
They accelerated it.
Yeah.
As an extreme example, there's Fortnite, which receives weekly patches and fortnightly updates. A recent investigation published by Polygon revealed the consequences of that. Employees working 70 hours or even 100 hours a week.
How is that even legal? Like, I know at least in the U.S., you can't do that. Legally.
You pay them overtime.
No. It's by law
what's
we
the
can't
limit?
work more than 6 days in a row.
I don't know. I've seen that happen way more. But the biggest problem is that they were patching all the time. When police said if something goes wrong in one of the regular updates, like a weapon breaking, there's no option to take time fixing it. It has to be fixed immediately, they said. And all the while, we're still working on the next week's patch. It's brutal. And this is what the kicker is, and it cracked me up because it's true. It always hasn't been like this. There was a time when Team Fortress 2 was the only game in your library that always was in queue for an update.
Yep.
I had to turn off automatic updates for that game. That one and Payday 2.
Left 4
Payday
Dead.
2 was,
yeah.
Payday 2 was bad. So yeah, I think we're getting less quality. They're going quantity over quality. Give the time, but that's not the demand. That's not how you make the money business wise. You got to push out stuff to make more money, all stuff. But it's a brutal cycle. I don't know how you fix.
Well, I mentioned too. I watched a live stream this week of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
Not impressed.
Right. You could say the same thing about Cyberpunk at the moment.
Cyberpunk looks better.
Halo was the
Well,
one that we talked
yeah,
about too.
But the issue I'm having right now is it looks just like the Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins, with a Viking skin. And I was like, man, the
Which I'll probably
videos.
still get because I've not played an Assassin's Creed game since the first one.
Right.
I'm
No,
still buying
it's going to be a fun game.
Yeah.
But as far as like we talked originally about like the watered down environments, like textures, the animations being kind of finicky, it's still a Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
But it's not this. It's not what they claim it's going to look like when the trailer came out and everything. Like the cinematic stuff is not like that.
Yeah. Well, and it usually never is. Those cutscenes
No.
are freaking gorgeous looking.
Cutscenes are always going to be better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even what they showed off though of what was going to be is not even close. It's a lot like what we had back with Division 1 when that first came out, and we saw how fluid that looked.
Right.
And they said it was gameplay.
Right.
And then we got the real game, and we're like,
This
Yeah, it
is
kinda
not
flopped.
gameplay.
what the heck are you giving us right now?
Right.
Yeah, it's just you guys played it and it kind of flopped, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun game, but it.
Like I can't
Fizzled
get
out.
behind season pass stuff. That just drives me up a wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
for sure.
only game I'd buy season pass stuff is like Rocket League
Yeah.
because I play it enough. But like a game I just casually play, and then there's more stuff I want to do. Oh, I can't because
Yeah.
I pay more. That's a whole other topic. But I think the industry is pushing quantity over quality, and I think it's going to explode at some point,
Yep.
internally to outernally.
Either the customers are going to stop buying, or
I don't think it's because I honestly think it's the customers driving that demand.
Well, it's
That's what it comes down to. You got to put out the product that the customer wants. If
Yeah.
the customer wants a lot more products, then you put out a lot more products.
it's a mix because the customer also doesn't know what they want until the company sets expectations.
Yeah, and that's like for me. There's that whole debate with the PC players and console players when it comes to Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Because we play in the same environment on the same servers.
Right.
But by and large, Sea of Thieves will update and patch things and regulate the game per to their console players rather than their PC players. So yeah, you get consoles demanding. They nerfed a lot of the fighting systems because I'm sorry, the console players couldn't keep up with the fighting that
Right.
PC players can do.
Yeah.
And it's been proven that it's not just the PC player. It's not just the PC though.
Right.
Like Summit even goes, I'm going to play this with a controller,
Yeah.
and he still did just as good.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not just a PC thing.
Right.
But the fighting mechanics got all changed because there's too many console players were getting upset and whining about it when they couldn't go up against PC players.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always tell a console player when you see that game because they never look up and down.
I mean, in Call of Duty, who got aim assist?
Yeah, because they need it.
Right.
I mean, we don't get aim assist on mouse and
No.
keyboard. It's so hard for me to play any game now with a controller other than like Rocket League or driving game. I can't play shooter games at all.
No.
But I think I'd rather see games take a little more time
Yeah.
on pushing updates. But also, how long does a game sit in alpha or early access before enough's enough, and then
See-
they're just milking that system of like, oh,
Right.
this is just early access, and it's a good write-off for the problems.
I think
Like,
I think that
games used to come out and they just came out.
I think that at some point you're going to see one of two things happen. You're either going to see like the like just future games just come out that are just not as impressive as what they claim, maybe a little bit, every
It's going
game
to be
by
one
game.
game a year that's going to be held up to hype.
And it's never going to change, or you're going to start getting to a point that you see bigger names start dropping to the point that they just drop off the map because they're basically what you're saying. They're going to burn themselves out because even if
employees are going to quit because they can't deal with that much stress.
or even if they can somehow produce a somehow better game, better graphics, whatever, it's still going to take a toll on the people that make it. And so basically, they're going to start either quitting or the content's just going to get weaker and weaker.
I think it already has been getting weaker and weaker.
It has, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I
think weaker and weaker because of online stuff.
Yeah.
Because of online, just got to keep them busy.
Right.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Make it person versus person, and that keeps them busy.
Right.
It doesn't matter. There's no storytelling.
It's just
there's
it's silly because you look at how big the video game market is, and look at games like freaking Among Us. Like that game you said had been out for 2 years. So it's like, okay, if you just shut up and stop playing this game that is for whatever reason broken, Call of Duty, then you
Uninstalled.
then you can go out there and find the cheap games that are still really good that people love.
Yeah, and Call of Duty was a thing. They put out so many updates, but it kept getting bigger and bigger and
Yeah.
bigger and
Well,
bigger.
they
People
just
couldn't deal with
now
that.
released an update that allows you
to
to install
uninstall
each section of the game
Or
instead of having all of it.
Yeah, or uninstall a section as
dumb.
well. That's what
But
it should have been. But
I
think,
thought of another thing that might actually be contributing to some of what we're experiencing in early access too.
Mm-hmm.
The development tools are so readily available now and run on such decently spec
all three of us
machines.
can make a game through Unreal.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're expecting AAA experience out of indie studios that probably sat on that project for 5 years and then, released an alpha.
Right.
And we're expecting DayZ was multiple years in alpha. Like
6 years
yeah.
or more.
No, I would
8,
agree.
7, 8 years.
6 is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
But 2, 3.
That's why I stopped. But I would rather a game wait a little bit longer and get me into a part where it's not even in alpha or even in beta.
But what you're running into is issues with, okay, so let's put it this way. Because there's a lot of variables we're not even talking about. We're talking about DirectX coming out with versions every other year, graphics cards that are coming out with different architecture. We had RTX come out, things like that. If you look at DayZ, DayZ actually had a complete revamp, new engine, new updates, looks completely different, had to be remodeled, everything like that. So then it comes down to, okay, are we willing to let an indie studio that doesn't have the manpower to do that release a game in 2021 on DX9 or 10? Because we let them take the time they needed to make a game, and they didn't have enough time to port that to DX12 and make it RTX compatible and things like that. So it's the industry as a whole that's making this horrible for employees.
Yeah, both sides of the market, I think.
Yeah. Every year we have new hardware coming out with new possibilities.
Yeah.
It's just the demand to try to keep up.
Yeah.
And that demand's trying to keep up is just going to run people into
And
the
people are
ground.
going to be pissed if they buy a new 3090
Yeah.
and they're playing a game that's DirectX 9.
Yeah.
That's just, it's not acceptable.
Yeah, and then trying to have to update, say Minecraft to the newer quality of stuff.
Yeah.
They're constantly just going to be working on. There's no games because, grew up a Nintendo player. A game just came out and that was it.
Right.
Yep.
Because they didn't have the online ability to just
Breath
throw
of the
out
Wild, man, there was
updates.
nothing. There's a DLC that was added, but it was some extra adventures. But the game that was broke
you
is
just
broke.
bought it, yeah. And then they just never fixed it because they just that is what it is.
Right.
Especially like Nintendo 64. Games came out and they came out.
You can't patch a cartridge.
No. I mean, I don't know of any games for like that in the older systems, even GameCube.
Yeah.
Even just regular Wii. I can only speak because I'm a Nintendo person, but I mean, they just didn't come out with this new. Here's the
Updated
we're
disc.
going to recall that disc and
Right.
fix that. Whoops,
Yeah.
They were expected to have the game done and playable by the time for release. We're not expecting that anymore. We're expecting just something to keep me busy and keep my little mind happy and fun while the game was just super broke and
and then-
super unplayable.
And patches were now being called updates, and updates are now becoming like DLC.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, patches should be, this guy can clip through this wall because he's throwing something this direction, and now you can flip and then he's
Right.
glitching through the
Yeah.
wall. Patch that. We keep the game the same.
hot fixes stuff.
Yeah. But not anymore.
And it's different. I mean, sometimes you got to look, and I guess for things like Star Citizen, where you're kind of almost expecting that though.
Yeah.
That's the way their architecture is because it was a Kickstarter game.
Yeah.
And so you expected that it's just going to be that's a living game. That right there is the definition breathing of a living breathing game. Constantly changes. Now, but those guys, I mean, those dev teams, it's not probably a huge dev team.
Nope.
Right.
They're probably working nonstop.
And
unforeseeable future, they're going to be working nonstop.
Yeah, they're kicking
on
butt.
one game.
Right.
And they're not even out with the game yet. It's the Squadron 42 is what they're supposed to come out like this single player storyline stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're still doing on that stuff. But when that comes out, how broken is it going to be?
Right.
Yeah.
That better be take the time, get it done right. I think the community behind Star Citizen can be
Respects
okay
it
with
that
that
way too.
because that's the architecture of that game that we expected.
Right.
So like if they
mean-
whenever they release Squadron 42, make that game good to go.
Right.
Don't need to patch it up like crazy. Maybe some small things here and that doesn't get
If
found.
your
until-
game is so big that you can play it, every single night and try to do the same thing, but it doesn't always turn out to be the same exact thing, then you have no reason to not just sit there and try to perfect your game because as a player, your experience is going to be different every time. Like you have nothing to complain about when it comes to content and just be like, well, I've already been doing this for however long. It's like, okay, well then go do something else in the game because it's endless.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'll do that with games too. And so I think games or companies are becoming complacent with just putting out half games or half quality stuff because we'll just patch it.
Right.
Oh, we'll get to it. We'll work on it. We just got to get this out here so we can keep them busy.
I think they've got
We get
good
that out so we can
intentions,
sell
though.
it. Huh?
I think they've got good intentions though. I don't think that they're doing it for that sake.
But I mean, like, put some
Not EA.
put some effort behind some of the stuff, and don't give me
Make it a meaty game. Don't
Yeah.
just like
a half butt. I want to say
Yeah.
real. Just don't give me a half-ass reason or a half-ass game. Just give me it.
yeah.
But like we're just getting enough to get by for a little bit until we can hop into the next patch.
The other issue too I thought of is like, let's say Warzone. If you want to go back and play how Warzone was, you can't.
Right.
If that was your nostalgia moment, was like, hey, I remember when Warzone first came out.
Yeah, like I can go back and
I can go back and play my GameCube games,
and then go back and play Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
and I can play exactly how.
but you can't do that with Warzone. You can't do that with Call of
Speaking of
Duty.
which, I got Battlefield 4 downloaded again.
Nice. Battlefield 4
That probably hasn't had an update in years.
freaking works.
Yeah, and it works. And the stuff that didn't work got kind of fixed, but there wasn't really a lot of like.
They just kind of added new maps here and there, but the core gameplay was working from day one.
Yeah.
Now the netcode was a little,
Yeah.
but by and large, it was a rock solid game.
Yeah, I just think that we need to push our quality over quantity mindset.
So-
that doesn't happen until the customers accept that reality as well.
So we would like to know what you think as well.
Email us at
Info at midnightsmath.com. But yeah, no, that was a really good, good chat.
Oh, that's just been on my mind for years. I just don't like that. But I go through games where like I know small games like Raft. That's a smaller indie game I would consider. That's not a AAA title.
Right.
But I go through waves of patches. Play it like Chewy and I played it. I got pretty far to almost end game pretty much of what it was currently.
Right.
And then we stop.
Right.
There's a new patch coming out, new update coming out with a lot more stuff to do after what we went through. So we'll probably get back into it again. And I was kind of like, so then
I own it now.
We'll play that, and then we'll do as much as you can, and then you stop for 6 months,
Right.
And then you bring it back up. It's kind of like what we've done with Scum.
Yeah.
So
We'll
that's
get,
what a
we'll
lot
get
of people,
irritated with something and we'll come back and play it again.
yeah, and I think we're going to see that a lot. People are probably going to start doing that more often because the game's going to be living. You're not going to be like,
Right.
oh, well, if this is how it is, well, I'm just not getting back into it. Oh, it's going to get fixed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just come back to it later. So that's what I do. If I get burned out on a game just because of problems or the way it's played, I'll just come back later. Rust. So one of those games I go through spurts. But if you're a game developer, which I know there's probably no game developers out there listening, but quality over quantity. Give us some good stuff
Yeah.
rather than pushing it out because you think we have to keep us busy.
Scum, sponsor us.
GameSpires.
Yeah.
GameSpires is they're like, I forget where they're from. They're not from America.
No. It's not Russia, though.
No, it's something country close.
European country, something like that.
But
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you have any ideas for things we should talk about next week or any week?
I still want to do our build a PC.
Yeah.
And just compare them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do we want to say we're going to do that for next week, or do we want to wait until we?
I could.
We'll
try
chat
to
about it.
do
We'll be a surprise.
Yeah.
We'll do it next week if we.
Still planning on
forward
doing
to
it. Yeah.
And then I also have an idea. I'm going to pitch my idea to the audience just to get them a tease. But I want to do like a history of segment at the end of the podcast. So the podcast might be a little bit longer, just to add that in. But I don't want to make it like a 40-minute long thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to do like a history of Apple, just a really quick, brief, cool kind of history with little cool tidbits about how they got started. Like, they got
Surprised
started,
you used
they got-
Apple as your example.
I don't know. I just looked at a phone. It was the first thing I could think of. Like, Apple started in the garage with 2 Steves.
Right.
It's true.
Like stuff like that that a lot of people don't really know. So I think I want to give listeners something to talk about as well.
Should
as
make
our
an
news
audio bit to introduce it.
I thought about it.
We could just do like
I
a
already thought
new
about
jingle.
it. What?
New jingle for it.
Yeah, I already thought about it. I could find one of the different
Here
variants of
is
our
your
song.
history time.
Yeah.
Bam.
So and it can if you guys
Recorded.
Yeah. If you guys want to come up with, but I mean, something I can do.
Yeah.
I'll just pull like one article and then do the history of segment. But I think it'd be something fun.
Yeah.
Get people, because I'm always like that. I was like, oh, I learned about this. I learned how Apple got started. Check out this really cool thing I didn't know.
Yep.
You tell somebody else.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
That'd
oh,
be
where'd
cool.
you listen to it? I listened to it on the Midnight Sack podcast. That's us.
Yeah.
So,
It is us.
any final thoughts? I don't ask you because you
Put a helmet on when you ride a bike. That's what I'm thinking of right now.
don't run with scissors and drink your milk.
See you next week.